Now, they say April showers bring May flowers, but we're gamers, and we don't care about flowers. We care about games. And April brought us some oldies and some goodies, with some remastered classics, a few indie gems, and one monster title from a lesser-known studio. April had a bit of something for everyone, and I'm here for it. So, the games that made April 2025 memorable, let's get into it.
Access granted.
So up first, we have a cool indie gem, Bionic Basic, co-developed by Marina and Psycho Flow Studio, a 2D platformer which released on April 17th for the PC and PS5. Players assume control of a scientist who has been transported to a biomechanical world following a laboratory accident. Man, these scientists just can't catch a break, huh? Bruce Banner, the dad from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and now this guy. Life is rough for these dudes, right? I'm guessing another side effect from the accident is the loss of basic musculature function, because our scientist here has about as much control of his arms and legs as a toddler who got into dad's whiskey stash. To survive and escape this world, players must overcome the various platforming challenges as they're avoiding all of the environmental hazards, but thankfully, your character is equipped with several abilities, like teleportation, the ability to slow down time briefly, flipping gravity, and swapping places with objects in the game world. Well, that's science for you. Cool superhuman abilities with a helping of impending death around every corner. Now, the game also features an online mode where you can race against other players to see who's the best at combining these abilities in order to solve the environmental puzzles. This is definitely one for the lovers of the 2D platformers like Shovel Knight and the Ori series. Just be sure you have the Tums handy, cause you're gonna need it with the indigestion inducing stress you typically experience with games like this. It's like I love them, but I hate them at the same time. It drives me insane, but nothing feels more rewarding than finally defeating that level after hours of being stuck in a death loop. It's a fun little platformer. It's great for mixing things up from the countless big open world games that seem to suck away weeks worth of our life. Next on the list, we have Blueprints, another beautiful indie gem that was developed by Tonda Ross over 8 years and received critical acclaim since releasing on April 10th for the PS5, Xbox, and PC. But what exactly is it all about? Well, we start off the game assuming the role of Simon Jones, who has recently come into possession of Mount Holly Estate Mansion, a gift from his deceased uncle, Herbert Sinclair. If Simon got the mansion, I want to know what the other nieces and nephew got. Who knows? But obviously, you can't trust a man with two first names, because Herbert decided to play a little game with his nephew, like Jigsaw, just without all the killing. Because the only way Simon can gain full possession of the mansion is by reaching the secret room 46 before the day's end, or else he has to start all over again the next day. The mansion is represented by a grid of 45 room tiles, 9 rows by 5, and as you enter a new room, you're prompted to pick the layout of that room by choosing one of the 3 randomly selected floor plans to place in the adjacent space. The catch is that the doors and walls of the new room must align with the rooms you've already placed. Ross has said a big inspiration for the game is the 1985 popular children's puzzle book Maze, which was written and illustrated by Christopher Manson. Rooms have a tier system and contain clues, items, or even self-contained mini puzzles to be solved. The higher the tier, the more valuable the rewards or complex the puzzles. And each time you enter a room, it costs you 1 step. You only start with 50 a day, but you can replenish steps throughout the mansion by eating food or visiting bedrooms, and this is a thinking man's game, especially if you love solving puzzles. Kinda reminds me of the classic Maniac Mansion. I also love the graphical style. I found it very similar to Telltale games, The Wolf Among Us and The Walking Dead series, with the cell shading and the color palette. Blueprints. If you love board games, puzzles, and twisted old uncles, this is your game. Now, if Blueprints didn't quite scratch that puzzle itch for you, maybe our next game will. The Talos Principle, Reawakened, a remaster of Crow Team's 2014 critically acclaimed puzzle game. The game released on PS5, PC, and Xbox on April 10th. You start the game off as a robot who awakens in a mythological garden, and the main objective is to collect these sigils by going into the enclosed areas within the garden and solving the obstacles within. The problem, though, is that the enclosures are guarded by drones that will detonate or turrets which will activate if you get too close. And if they kill you, you have to start the puzzle all over again from the beginning. You do, however, have access to portable jamming devices that can be used to disable the turrets and drones. Now, As you collect the sigils and complete the puzzles, more become available to you. The main objective is to solve the puzzles which will unlock the mysteries of the island, who created it, along with the puzzles that lie within. The game really focuses on themes of AI, human extinction, and how they are intertwined. So maybe temper your excitement about ChatGPT and all the cool functions it can master. For all we know, it's plotting our demise while distracting us with all the cute videos of our favorite celebrities as talking babies. The developers have also added the expansion pack from the original game with Road to Gehenna and an entirely new chapter called In the Beginning, as well as the level creator tool, allowing players to create their own puzzle levels to share them with the community. Rebuilt from the ground up using the Unreal 5 engine, the game looks better than ever and is a real brain teaser. If you like the original or games like Portal, this is one remaster you're gonna want to play. Next is a remaster for the ages, and clearly Bethesda got tired of bringing us Skyrim over and over and over again, so they went even deeper in the well and brought us a remaster of their hit 2006 classic Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, the action RPG open world game that dropped April 22nd for PC, Xbox, and PS5. The core gameplay mechanics are unchanged here from the original, including the real-time combat, skill-based progression system, and various quest lines linked to the factions you encounter throughout your journey, like the Mage and Fighters Guild, as well as the Dark Brotherhood, which was always my favorite of the bunch. The game is set in the province of Cyrodiil, and you start off with creating your character while stuck in a prison cell. And I don't know what's worse, being stuck in a prison cell, or the dark elf in the cell adjacent from you, whose crime is obviously annoying people to death. And thankfully, it doesn't take long for your cell to get visited by the Emperor of Cyrodiil, Uriel Septim, who sets you off on a quest to locate his bastard son, who you must team up with to fight off the forces of the Daedric realm of Oblivion. The open world was huge for its time, but compared to recent behemoth open world games, it did feel a bit small in comparison. What won't feel small, however, are the many secret dungeons, caves, castles, you name it, to explore and get lost for hours. This is a game where 1 minute you're on a main quest and the next you sink an hour into exploring some random dungeon you discovered off the beaten path. It was the predecessor to Skyrim, so the gameplay loop will feel very familiar to anyone who missed it the first time but happened to play Skyrim. This remaster, just like the Talos principle, has had a full facelift thanks to the Unreal 5 engine. Just ignore the bugs, because it wouldn't be a Bethesda game without bugs, right? Other features that have been improved are like magic and the water environmental effects. Textures are more detailed, and the ambient and weather sounds and the weapon sounds feel more radiant and impactful. Added bonus, we get Knights of the Nine and Shivering Isles, which were expansion packs for the original game, so real bang for your buck here. For anyone who's heard the folks of yesteryear rave about Oblivion, the game that done Skyrim before Skyrim done Skyrim, now's your time to grab it. Better than ever and packed with more bells and whistles than an aftermarket iPhone. The next and final game on my list is not a remaster, but the monster hit title from upstart studio Sandfall Interactive, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, a turn-based RPG game that released April 24th for the PC, PS5, and Xbox. A dark fantasy adventure game with old-fashioned RPG mechanics. Sign me up. The game starts with a group of volunteers called Expedition 33 who must destroy the Paintress, a being who clearly throws the worst New Year's parties ever, by writing a number on a monolith in the middle of the land, and at the end of the year, everyone at or over that age dies. Happy New Year my ass, right? And if you thought things couldn't possibly get worse, the number counts down every year. So at some point, the world is gonna be populated by prepubescent kids, and obviously the Paintress hasn't had to spend a weekend with a bunch of whining toddlers. So you take your party of up to 6 playable characters, explore areas, and engage in combat. And each character has a unique skill set with different abilities, unique weapons, and mechanics. Keeps things interesting. And you have your classic healer, damage dealer, and tank roles here, and I love it. Also included in the mechanics are the quick time events during combat, which are used to improve the effects of the attacks or limit the amount of damage taken. This makes combat more dynamic than the traditional turn-based RPG, so a bit of the old mixed in with the new. The graphical art style reminds me of A Plague's Tale, and I love it. It's not as polished and colorful as, say, Horizon, The Forbidden West, or Ghosts of Tsushima, but it fits the somber tone beautifully. graphically. It's a real joy to look at, and the stylized numbers and writing is nothing I've ever seen in RPG. It's giving Dishonored 2 vibes. The levels are linear, but there are branching paths to explore, from hidden resources and side quests, as well as the expedition flags where you can heal your characters, restock items, and allocate the skill points. The catch is that once you rest at the flag point, the enemy you killed in that level respawn. Always a catch. So, if you love old school RPGs with complex mechanics and engaging gameplay, Expedition 33 has come to answer your prayers. This game was an instant hit when it was released, a classic for years to come, and if you haven't played it yet, do yourself a favor and pick this one up. So, April, not usually a big month for gaming, but as you see, a few big releases that we were able to really sink our teeth into. And when I'm burnt out after spending hours on Oblivion or Expedition 33, I pop in one of those indie gems to mix things up. These are the games I enjoyed for the month, but what do you think? Was there any games that released in April that you loved and I didn't mention? Comment down below and share your thoughts. And if you liked the video, maybe drop a like and subscribe. I like bringing you my hot takes on games I enjoy playing. So, thanks for stopping by and let's get gaming.